bustling UT at Bukit Panjang, and this is our final stop in the Holland Bukit Timah area. So we're meeting with residents. We've had a lot of positive feedback. As you've seen, people have come up to us and just talked to us. Any specific questions?
When you say positive feedback, Jenny's from today, so
sure.
When you say positive feedback, what is that?
Well, people come and encourage us. There was, interestingly enough, I met a former patient, and his wife is a Singaporean, and she said they really need some kind of healthcare reform. So she said she's familiar with our healthcare policy, and she was very encouraging about that.
What are the main concerns residents have?
Well, the main issue in every one of our house visits and our walkabouts has been the cost of living. I mean, there's a sense that the way wage increases have not kept pace with rises in the cost of living, and a lot of this is not inevitable. A lot of that is due to taxes, rental costs, surcharges, things which are well within the control of the government of the day.
Could they answer for any particular messaging that the SCP is focusing on putting out?
Well, let me tell you, the first thing the residents, some of them who are aware of our policies, they do offer us encouragement on that. But I can tell you, everybody's asking me, when is the election? And I tell them I have no idea, because the process of elections in Singapore are not free, not fair, and not transparent. As I've said before, we really need an independent election commission. We do not need individuals who in their day jobs report to various ministers, law, home affairs, prime minister, etc. So we need a prolonged campaign period so that people in Singapore can make an informed choice, so that they can understand what are the policies of the different parties, that they can see what are the implications, they have a chance to analyze them, or even better, that there are live TV debates which we used to have in the 1980s, where voters had a chance to question the candidates, so they can really understand what are the policies, because these are decisions which have an impact on their lives and the lives of their children. So I think trying to rush through everything in 9 days, arbitrarily decided by the Prime Minister, is really not doing Singaporeans a service.
Dr. Tan came up and did some adult mention yesterday.
Right.
I think from the onset, the SAP was also trying to conversations with the data. So how does this shape up?
Yeah, this is, it's all very encouraging, the conversations that we've had with Dr. Tan. We've had conversations with his team. As you know, we did a house visit just around the corner to his house, and we shared a copy of the manifesto with him. And so, these things are not easy. They're going to take lots of negotiation, conversations, and I think they're just moving in the right direction. Oh, that was, we knew all about the meeting. Dr. Tan briefed us, and his team briefed us ahead of time. And again, I'm not going to tell you his strategy, but he was 26 years of PAP MP, and so he knows how politics works in Singapore.
The SBTC itself working with the other parties?
Oh, we're very happy to work with anybody who's committed to working for democracy, justice, and equality in Singapore. And like I said, we have been open. We are encouraging Dr. Tan to take the lead, and we're very happy that he is actually taking proactive steps to give people in Singapore a choice in the coming election.
So this needs to be party to...
Oh, definitely. We are definitely, yeah. The form and shape of the collaboration, of course, it still remains to be seen. And we are actively involved in conversations with Dr. Tan and all the other parties.
Yeah. Basically, you started its election campaign. So just want to find out about your stepped up preparations. You mentioned a list of GRCs just now. Can I just check how often you guys visited them? How many
have you done? Every week there's a team from Holland Bukit Timah, Marsiling UT, Bukit Batok, Bukit Panjang knocking on doors. Whenever there's an open door, we go in, we engage the residents. And in addition, we've had a series of events, beginning with the campaign launch, going through the relaunch of all our policies, and of course, many of you were there at our pre-election rally, which was, I thought, a truly amazing event. We have a couple of other events which are planned, but the major events, this is the so-called last major event, unless of course the general election is called, which we have no idea when it will be.
Wait, so isn't this the last?
This is the last walkabout for this year, correct?
Yeah, that's what
this is the last walkabout for this year. Of course, if the election calls in December, you'll have walkabout every day. So, but as far as we know, this is the last walkabout for this year.
How will you step up perhaps next year?
Yeah, so we'll continue doing the house visits. These will continue regardless. Getting to know the residents, talking to them, engaging them, finding out what are the issues. We have a few other interesting events lined up. I don't think I'm at liberty to tell you right now. Some of these involve the Young Democrats on issues which are of concern to them. We are talking about a hackathon, but again, that is something that we will be giving you more information about in due course.
About the Young Democrats, for the previous walkabout in August, right? You guys mentioned that you guys are seriously considering fielding younger candidates, Young Democrats. They've been sort of quite well publicized. So, are there any? How will you address voter concerns? Finding that young candidates are not. Voters it's important to people to try.
I think there's a new generation of voters in Singapore, the millennials, who feel that very often some of their concerns are not being addressed. There's pushes for people to keep being employed, and one of the downsides of keeping older people in the workforce is that there are fewer opportunities for young people to come up. The nature of work is changing, the cost of living is going up, the cost of raising kids, the cost of buying your first home. These are things which are real issues which are facing young people, and I think the young voters and even their parents, their parents know that their children are facing these issues. So I think they would appreciate having people who are able to speak up for them in Parliament.
That's it. Will the SDP be filling bigger proportion?
Yeah, we're not going to tell you. Otherwise, you're going to do your calculations and try and figure out who is who. But I mean, I think it's just a matter of time. If you want to tell me, want me to tell you what's the average age of the SDG candidate, and I can predict it's probably going to go down at least by a year or two.
And as for the opposition lines that you guys mentioned, I just want to get a sense. I mean, we see the opposition landscape in Singapore now. Kind of retired from politics, and a lot of young guys are getting the next sector. What is your assessment in this evolving opposition landscape, and how would an opposition look like?
Well, I think the first and most important thing is that Singapore needs to move away from the current situation, where there's total domination by the people. And if we really want to see an evolving opposition landscape, then what we need to do is we need to relax a lot of these crazy regulations that we have. Some of the things that you guys are facing, the restrictions of the mass media, even in the social media realm where the POFMA has come in, and it's so arbitrary where the minister can arbitrarily decide. And what we've seen recently that the ministers are exempt from personal data protection laws, they're exempt from COHA, some of the harassment laws. And really, these things are not conducive to giving Singaporeans a choice, helping them to see what are the alternatives available. And actually, in a nutshell, these are hampering the development of Singapore as a whole. Anything else? Last question. We're going to go and talk to the residents.
Any more last questions?
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you very much.